Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, Text 24. Please read it after me. Eshamavirabbhuttvani arupa meghanishvana sannadayanti kakubha sadhunam sadhunam abhayankari teshamavirabbhuttvani arupa meghanishvana sannadayanti kakubha sadhunam abhayankari teshamavirabbhuttvani arupameghanishvana sannadayanti kakubha sadhunam abhayankari. Okay, going forward, in the interest of time, since we have shorter classes now, I'll just read through the word forward, no need of the repetition. Tesham, in front of all of them, Avirabhu appeared, Vani, a voice, Arupa, without a form, Megha, Swana, resounding like the sound of a cloud, Sannadayanti, causing to vibrate, Kakubha, all directions, Sadhuna, of the saintly persons, Abhayankari, driving away the fearful situation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then there appeared before them a transcendental sound vibration emanating from a personality not visible to material eyes. The voice was as grave as the sound of a cloud, and it was very encouraging, driving away all fear. Please repeat after me. Then there appeared before them a transcendental sound vibration emanating from a personality not visible to material eyes. The voice was as grave as the sound of a cloud, and it was very encouraging, driving away all fear. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjanasalakaya Chakshuramilitam Vina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Ishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandayam Shri Guru Shri Radha Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Radhanavitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lita Sri Vishakanagascha He Krishna Kavan Samsudhi Navadro Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Mustute Tapta Kanchana Rangi Radhe Kanda Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudeli Pranadami Haripriye Vanchakaladapulyascha Kripa Sandhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunilani Paschatya Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for your association this morning, seeking blessings from all senior Vaishnavas here, especially Bhakta Abhay Prabhu, Vanmali Prabhu, Mukund Leela Prabhu, Matajis. So, uh, in this verse, as we see, it is said, all the inhabit. So, when the demigods are Uh, if we go back in the context, yeah. So who are offering these prayers as we saw yesterday? Yeah. The demigods and rulers of various planets. So now, when they offered these prayers, uh, yeah, the predominating deities of various planets, they began worshipping Rishikesh with his meditation. So they began to hear this voice. This voice is described as transcendental, emanating from a personality not visible to the material eyes. It was grave, like the sound of a cloud. How grave a cloud sounds. It's quite magnificent, actually. And it was very encouraging, driving away all fear. That's how the Lord's sound is. So, as we see, the Bhagavad Gita is the sound of the Lord, and it drove away all fear from the mind of Arjuna. It encouraged him to pick up his book, Gandir bow, and start fighting again. So there are so many instances in our scriptures where this is described, the sound of the Lord, and emanating from a personality not visible to the eyes. We can think of Narad Muni's past life when he lost his mother, and he saw it as the Lord's special mercy upon him, and he started walking toward north. If I'm correct, he started walking toward the north, and in search of the absolute truth, in search of the Lord. He had already received mercy from the great devotees, the Bhakti Vedantas, who were visiting him and his mother before. So, having gotten some taste in Krishna Katha from them, and having understood the purpose of life, he started walking northward, and he continued walking without getting distracted by whatever um, razzle dazzle he saw around him. He passed through so many cities and um, all developed places, and he passed through very difficult places as well, like forests. But he continued, he persevered, and finally he sat and he stopped somewhere to refresh, get refreshed, and he had a bath, drank some cooling water, some cool water, and all his fatigue was driven away. And then he sat under a tree to meditate. And as he sat to meditate, he began to see the Supreme Lord in his heart, saw the beautiful form of the Lord. And when he saw the Lord, his entire body became filled with ecstasy. Every sense was filled with joy. and ecstasy. The sense pleasures of this world cannot compare with this joy. So the sensual pleasures of this world are puny in comparison with the joy which he was experiencing. And then the Lord disappeared after giving him that glimpse. So and, uh, the boy, Narad Muni, his previous life, he became perturbed. He opened his eyes big and began searching everywhere. Oh, where is the Lord gone? And he was disturbed. And at that moment, he heard a deep and grave voice. So even in that context, the voice of the Lord has been described as very deep, grave, like the sound of a cloud. And the Lord spoke to him very reassuringly. The Lord told him that in this life, uh, you are you will not see me again. You still need to go through some more purification. Those who are not completely pure can hardly see me. But when after this life, when you become completely purified, you will be able to see me again. The Lord spoke to him very reassuring. And there are so many other instances where the an unembodied voice spoke to some devotee and very reassuringly. So another example I can think of is when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Pitambar Prabhu was saying, Kamsa also heard an unembodied voice. I think it was the voice of Lord Brahma, not Lord Vishnu's voice. Yeah. But when Advait Acharya, yeah, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and he just left one morning, uh, it was a sad moment for all Vaishnavas who were so attached to him. When the Lord took sannyas and devotees, as their daily uh, morning activity, they will come and take darshan of the Lord, come to meet the Lord, have loving exchanges with him. That morning, when they came, the very morning when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, devotees came to meet him. They were struck with such sorrow when they saw that the Lord wasn't there. And they got to know that he had taken sannyas. So, devotees, they decided, oh, what's the point of living if we don't have association of our Lord Vishwambar Nimai? Uh, Let us all end our lives. Advaita Acharya was the leader of all the Vaishnavas. They looked up to him for guidance, and Advaita Acharya too was struck by sorrow. And he said, I will not stop you, I will go with you. And then Advaita Acharya and all the devotees were immersed in pools of sorrow this way. They heard a transcendental sound vibration, an unembodied voice, reassuring. Advaita Acharya heard that voice and he conveyed to all the devotees, do not fear. I heard a voice that soon we will be united with the Lord again and we will be dancing with him. So that's how the voice of the Lord is. Very reassuring, encouraging, driving away all fear. So that's one instance. Another instance I can think of is when Srinivas Acharya, Shamanand Pandit, and Narottam Das Thakur, they were on a mission. They were sent by Jeev Goswami to take all the Goswami literature to Bengal and propagate it everywhere, far and wide. So at one place, one Vishnupuram, they lost that great treasure they were carrying. Why? Because in that place was ruled by one king called Birhambir, who was sort of he was a king, but the he earned money through uh, unfair means like plundering people who were passing from that kingdom and so on. So, yeah, that king was told by an astrologer that there's a group of uh, party coming. There's a group of people coming who are carrying a great, great treasure with them. And yes, in fact, they were carrying such great treasure. And so King Berhambir took that very seriously, and he asked his dacoit party to go and steal that treasure. And when Narottam Das Thakur, Shri Nivas Acharya, Shamanand Pandit, followed by, there were many other people as well looked at. There were guards as well guarding that treasure. So when they stopped for the night there in that kingdom, somehow by the Lord's arrangement, they all fell asleep. The guards as well, they all fell asleep. And the thieves employed by this king, Behram, they came and stole away the treasure. And next morning, when these great Vaishnavas woke up, these three great personalities, when they woke up, they were immersed in an ocean of sorrow. Oh, what has happened? There's no point continuing to live. This is worse than death. And they were searching everywhere. Oh, we have lost this most priceless treasure. And at that time, Srinivas Acharya, who was the eldest among them and their leader, he heard a voice. Or maybe he got this revelation in a dream, one of these two. So, uh, and he was given the assurance that soon they will retrieve the treasure. It is not lost. And then Srinivas Acharya conveyed to Narottam Das Thakur and Shamanand Pandit, okay, Narottam, you go back to Kheturi Gram, your native place. And he sent Shamanand Pandit to Orissa, asked him to go to Orissa and to preach in there. And Srinivas Acharya said, I will stay in this kingdom for some more time. Uh, I'm very sure we will soon retrieve the treasure. Then Srinivas Acharya he, uh, goes uh, into the kingdom and he makes friends with one Brahmin, a very pious Brahmin who had deep taste for Krishna Katha. And that Brahmin welcomes Srinivas Acharya and he when he has discussions on Bhagavatam with Srinivas Acharya, when he hears Srinivas Acharya speak Bhagavatam, he is convinced, oh, he is a pure Vaishnava. And then this Brahmin tells Srinivas Acharya that our king, he occasionally conducts discourses on Bhagavatam. And uh, yeah, would you like to join? And Srinivas Acharya, he is happy. Yeah, yes, why not? Srinivas Acharya goes and starts attending the Bhagavatam. And the reciter in King Berhambir's kingdom, he was just, he wasn't, there are so many reciters on Bhagavatam who are not really into Bhagavatam, into the spirit of Bhagavatam, the pure devotional spirit of Bhagavatam. So the reciter, he was reciting, he was just giving some explanations, which Srinivas Acharya could easily make out that these are just superficial explanations. And then, uh, yeah, when there was an opportunity to ask questions, or just like people get a chance to ask questions, Srinivas Acharya, he asked some questions which the reciter, Bhagavatam reciter, had no answers to. And he, in fact, even felt offended. And then he challenged Srinivas, okay, if you think you are so uh, scholarly, if you are so knowledgeable, then why don't you explain? And then when Srinivas Acharya spoke, everyone was just so impressed and mesmerized. Now, going back a little, what had happened? Uh, the king, okay, just before this, now when uh, this treasure which the thieves had stolen, uh, who were employed by the king himself, when they brought the treasure to the king, it is described how that king, he was, this is before Srinivas Acharya entered the kingdom and joined that Bhagavatam discourse. So the king, he was rummaging through all the other booties they had gathered. They had looted from others. He was rummaging through them. But when this treasure came, he dropped everything else. Just like a child when he's playing with some toys, but if some toy of a very much superior quality comes, how a child would drop all other toys and go for that toy. So similarly, the king, he dropped everything else that his uh, employed plunderers had brought and went to open this treasure. And the plunderers employed by him hadn't opened it until this point. And the king himself opened it, inaugurated Udghatan. He opened it. And as soon as he opened it, he saw literature kept inside. And as soon as he picked up the first book on the top, he opened it. He saw the beautiful handwriting of Rup Goswami. And he even saw the name of Rup Goswami written, Shri Rup Goswami. And as soon as he saw, he was affected by some transcendental mercy. Just seeing the handwriting of Rup Goswami, reading his name, he was affected by a transcendental um, feeling. So he began to receive mercy there. And he kept the book down immediately. And he closed that treasure. And he went back and he felt, he began to feel some regret in his heart. Oh, maybe I've committed a very big sin by doing this, by stealing uh, this treasure of some saints. So, yeah, and after this point, Srinivasacharya comes to the kingdom and hearing Srinivasacharya's explanations on Bhagavatam, everyone is just so impressed. And then the king uh, invites him to stay in the kingdom. He says, dear sir, please stay here for as long as you like. It is a great fortune that you are living with us. And yeah, next day they again heard Srinivas Acharya speak on Bhagavatam. And the king was everyone. They, uh, they lined up to seek blessings of Srinivas Acharya. And so did the king. He did it as well. So the king then he offered himself to Srinivas Acharya. He said to Srinivas Acharya, this kingdom belongs to you. We are at your disposal. Please let me know how can I serve you. And at this point, Srinivas Acharya tells him that we have, and that time Srinivas Acharya introduces himself officially, tells his name and from where he is. Because the king asks with great humility, who are you, sir? Please tell us more about yourself. That time Srinivas Acharya tells him and the purpose why he had entered the kingdom. And then the king tells Srinivas Acharya, oh, how sinful of me that it was me, unfortunately. And then he takes Srinivas Acharya to that treasure. Srinivas Acharya and Narottam Das Thakur Shamanand Pandit had lost. Srinivas Acharya does elaborate arti then after retrieving that treasure. That king then surrenders his life to Srinivasacharya. So, yeah, this is another instance. Would devotees like to point out any other instances where uh, the transcendental sound of the Lord was heard. Right.
uh, in Vasudeva coming back from getting married, and then they heard the voice of Krishna from the air saying, eighth child, this woman will kill you. So, China, Dhruva saw Krishna in his after his meditation, and then he disappeared. And then Krishna told him, "You won't be able to see me again in this lifetime."
Narad Muni, that was Narad Muni's past life. Dhruv Maharaj also has it.
Anyway, it's either Dhruva or not.
Yes, I think that's directly told by the, and it was not, Prachetas, actually, Lord Shiva became pleased with them. So I don't know, it was just the voice coming across in front darshan, and then Lord Shiva said, because you are serving in aprathak bhav, means in cooperation for the pleasure of Krishna. So that's why I'm very pleased with you. Just his
Yeah, actually, Lord Shiva gave them the sadhana and they performed it in full cooperation, and then Lord Vishnu gave them darshan.
So who was saying that I'm pleased that you're serving in aprathak bhav? I think that's part of the Rukmini. I'm not sure.
So, yes, the sound of the Lord. I think Raghunath Das Goswami, in one of his songs, Gravangastava Kalpavriksha, where he is recounting his ecstatic remembrances of Lord Chaitanya. He says at one place, words come out of the mouth of Lord Chaitanya like streams of nectar. So devotees are so attached to the speech of the Lord, his transcendental smile. Everything about the Lord is just so attractive. Devotees become forever hooked on to him, attached to him. So that's how wonderful our Lord is. That's how wonderful is his sound, his smile, his everything.
From the same principles for Krishna's pure devotees. So many people are hooked just by that smile, that gesture, and of Srila Prabhupada they received. And
Yeah.